bills. I'm averaging like 6 or 7. I'm playing with my friends and I'm just like complaining and stuff. And just like, yeah. Are we recording?
Yeah, just put it just for now.
Just for now. Well,
Yeah, get everything.
like settled and stuff.
Yeah,
You're gonna be doing that the whole time.
that's fine.
That's about a little bit of that about chasing. But yeah. So how do you want to do it? What's the first go around?
Probably.
Should we be like,
Just,
yo, just talk about seeing each other again type of shit? Or? Yeah. We could do that. Definitely after that.
It's been cool, man.
It's been a long time, bro. Long time. And I'm sure it's funny because like it's been a long time since we haven't seen each other and even talk. But the stuff that we talk about, like, we forget about anything. Forget about movies that we missed together. We forget about all the crazy shit that happened, you know? So, yeah. That game came out. I don't want to talk about it yet because I want to talk about it when we talk about it on the video. But when we talk about it, we'll get into it and we'll divulge into the experience of watching it. You know? And then, yeah, just in general. You know, what you're doing, what I've been doing. You know, obviously, I mean, I could jump into it and be like, hey, you can ask me like, hey, what are you up to? What you been up to? Like,
Yeah.
well, this is basically it, you know, because I work from the warehouse. This is my buddy's brand. We just dropped, you know, some merch this weekend. So if you want to check it out, you know, home, you can just chime in anytime. But yeah.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
You guys should go get some.
Yep. Shit like that.
Yeah, man. You know, just
like chill, talk, like I said.
I just wanted to thank you for providing the space.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro.
For right now.
It's a blessing in disguise. So I mean, we could do it from here, from now, whenever, when we have time, obviously, and shit. And, you know, obviously, you said you could drop, you know, more videos more often. We can do that from there. We can do it the weekend.
It would be perfect. Just get away from everything else with distractions. Not that my wife and son are distractions.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. See, like we're gonna start doing that shit that we did last time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We're like, we're single.
See,
we're like, oh.
But the thing is now I'm really single.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm good. Yeah.
It's all good.
But
I'm married, but you know,
yeah,
it's all good. Sorry, babe.
That's a no.
No, for right now, that's a no.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a cool minute since.
It's been a while, bro. It's been a cool minute. People looking at the camera like, it's been a while, guys. It's been a while.
It's been a good while since the last time you guys seen this gentleman on a video of mine. If you were, you know, a viewer back in the day.
Yeah, if you watch the Kmart videos, those are the days. Those are the days.
Yeah.
Less stress, chilling, going out, having a good time. You know, obviously as
bullshitting at work.
Oh yeah. I mean, now that I work in what I work in, I mean, I feel like I'm back in that same environment. But you know, obviously it's not. I guess you can say company aspect.
That corporate
you know,
thing.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their different ways of working. You know, working from a corporation or working from home or having their own business. It's cool, you know, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing. It's the best thing in the world. But but when we're working together, man, Jesus Christ.
When we work together, work's gonna get done.
Oh, it didn't. It never did. And we
were just like, hey, so
especially in the store.
What are we gonna eat?
Well,
so I just go up to everybody, hey, do you want to order food?
Yeah, we ordered.
Okay, you want to buy pizza?
Oh my god, when we ordered food, it was crazy. Like, even being just ordering food or just being in the back. And being there for hours, not knowing anybody was not knowing that we were back there for hours. You know what I mean?
I know.
It was it was insane.
Especially when I would hide and hide away.
That was the best part. And even you being a bad influence. Sorry.
Yeah. I was.
But you know, you were like, hey, this guy would call me from. I forgot what phone it was.
It was from the phone upstairs.
Yes, or it would be from the intercom. He'd be like, Braulio, Telewe. And I'd be like, what the fuck is this calling me for? I'd go and we talk and he'd be like, oh, just chill with me for like a couple minutes. I'd just go chill.
Yeah.
But it was cool though, you know. It was dope. Obviously, like, you know, there was people in our department my department that, you know, kind of like chill, you know, don't do it, but still did it. So, yeah.
I mean, he good people, but
oh yeah, most definitely.
Obviously, in the beginning, before the store closed or was closing, he was like, hey, you know, relax a bit.
Yeah.
And then when the store was closing, he was like, I fucking do what you want. I think that was everybody's attitude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, the store's gonna close. You know, if you guys want to transfer somewhere, go for it. But it was like, why? You're just gonna close that one too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was so funny that happened because everybody was like worried about. Obviously, everybody was worried about losing their job. Rightfully so. You know, obviously we knew people that already had jobs coming into it when closing at the time. But you know, it's all growth. You know, that place really served us well. You know, obviously we're still in touch to this day and talk about the same shit every day. Yeah. We reminisce and stuff, but it's cool. You know, always cool to reminisce. But I think one of the cooler times. I mean, the whole time is cool. But one memory I can think of right now is going to the movies. You know, the movie days when we still just. That was when we were just watching all kinds of Marvel movies. Movies in general. Marvel DC.
Anytime we're like, hey, is there a movie coming out this week?
That was around the same time when Civil War and Batman and Superman came out.
I know. I remember going over there, packing the Camargo's car.
Oh yeah, I was in the back.
Oh, I agree.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
We had too many people in that car.
We had Gonzo. We had Bianca.
Adrian.
Me, Abby, Adrian, yourself, Maribel, obviously in the front driving. And Cassandra.
We had everybody in the car with us that was going.
Yeah. I think at one point we had Gladys in the car.
Yeah.
I
think it was the last time we went.
Yeah. Gladys
went in the car with us.
Yeah. She did.
No. She didn't.
She didn't? I think she took her car.
She went in Bruce's car.
Bruce was with
Bruce? Yeah. One of the last times.
For Civil War?
Not for Civil War, it was for one of the movies. Because I remember too. I have the picture, and then I have it's in one of the videos.
I do remember now. I remember when we were living in the theater, and I remember a video of him being in the video. And I was like, okay. I think it was. I don't think Batman Superman.
I think it was. Because I'm pretty sure. I think that was the only time we went to AMC that late. Yeah. Because usually we go, it was like right after closing.
Oh yeah.
But when we went that time, it was like already almost midnight. And
yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we would go watch the first time when I went with you guys, and it was for me like a really like a cool moment knowing that I belonged in a group. For me, like being a nerd, I've always been a nerd. Don't even say that with no hesitation because
still a nerd.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a nerd too.
I watch Star Wars. So there's now, awesome. We'll talk about Mandalorians, coming up, but that was what I was about to say. When Gonzo told me about Star Wars, the Force Awakens, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go see it. You wanna come?" He's like, "I'll buy your ticket." And I'm like, "No, it's cool." He's like, "Oh, just shoot me money. I'll buy your ticket right now." I was like, "All right."
I remember that too.
Yeah.
Gonzo will be like, "Yeah, just send me the money or give me the cash. And I'll buy everybody's ticket right now."
Yeah, basically, yeah.
We're like, what?
Ever since then, I'll be like, "Yo, bro, what are we watching?"
So what are we watching this Friday?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do this. Hey, bro, we just got paid. So where are we going?
We go bowling too.
Oh, bowling.
Bowling was dope.
Yeah.
Bowling was dope. But that was when I slipped up on a situation around that time. I mean, it was cool, when I started drinking.
Yeah.
I'm drinking apple juice, by the way. But anyways, when I started drinking, obviously everybody gets into a mood. I've always been a drinker. So around that time.
Apple juice.
Yeah, just apple juice. Apple juice, orange juice, just all kinds of crazy flavors, Yeah, but around that time that was when I slipped up a little bit. But at the same time, if you, be yourself and you're just yourself, and you open up to a person, that you kind of have feelings with before, it's more beneficial. Yeah. Because that's exactly what happened at the time. So, I mean, it happened, and we just rolled with the punches, and that was it. So, but yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, going back to the movie days. It was really dope going with you guys, like, at that time, because that's when I was like, damn, like, this is a group that likes what I like. It likes what we like.
I find some people that like the same shit.
Exactly, yeah. So it was kind of like, it was cool, it was dope, and then You know, it wasn't just Star Wars. It was comic books. It was theater games. It was movies. It was all kinds of fucking crazy shit. And that's when, I mean, I'll tell the people like how we started talking. I remember the first time I met you. I actually explained the story to a friend of mine a couple days ago. As a, you know, that I was telling her about me, you know, doing this and how I've known you for so long. Explaining to her how we met. And I remember just being in shoes. Obviously, I came where I used to work in the shoe department. This guy used to work in the layaway. I think it was a layaway thing, or I had to do something.
I think somebody asked you about something.
Something like that. And I think I
told you to come get something.
Yeah, and you were like, "Hey man, nice to meet you." Blah 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 blah. Didn't tell me. Like, what's your name? And I'm like, Braulio. Huh? Braulio. Huh? And I'm like, my name's Braulio, bro. You shook your head. I'm just gonna call you Broly. And I'm like, all right, touche. And that's how we developed the relationship, because, you know, Broly, Dragon Ball. Yeah. That's how we started talking about just different shit.
I don't know what it was. I just anytime you told me his name, I was just like,
it just came up.
What? Mm-hmm. What did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Broly? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ever since then, that's what you just called me. Yeah. It was just Broly. And then Gonzo called me, I called me Broly. Everybody was just calling me Broly after. So that was the first time. That was the first time. For that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Who would have thought after all these years, they would have made him canon?
I know, finally, man.
Yeah, that was really dope. Who would have thought that movie would have been 3 movies in one? I don't know if you know about that.
What do you mean?
You don't know about that?
3 movies in one.
3 movies in one? So, obviously the Broly movie came out. I gotta tell you a story about that one, how I watched it. Funny story. So when it was announced, obviously Broly was in the movie, and then, it dropped and whatever. Legendary Broly, Fusion Reborn.
No.
Yes. Fusion Reborn.
Oh, that's
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I forget the third movie. I'm forgetting the third movie. It's skipping my mind. But it was Legendary Broly, Fusion Reborn. There was another one. Because obviously you have Broly becoming canon. They made Gogeta canon. And there was another thing I'm forgetting that they implemented in, but I forget. I think I want to say it's the Bardock movie, because Bardock was never canon, but now he's canon. In some weird way, because we knew that Bardock's Goku's dad. Yeah. But it was never like, hey, like, it's official, So obviously, like, those 3 combined became
kind of got mad when they changed the backstory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I don't know. I agree.
They basically decanonized the episode of Bardock.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got me mad because I liked that one.
Mm-hmm. That was a dope episode. I love that episode.
Did you ever see the continuation part to that?
The Bardock? With Chill? Versus
yeah.
Chill? Like, obviously,
Frieza's
grandfather. Yeah.
Whatever.
I love that.
And then he was supposed to be what they spoke of in the legend.
Exactly, yeah.
Legendary.
I didn't even think about that until, like, I just was so hyped that he became a Super Saiyan. Because, it's Goku. It's Goku's dad. You want him to, be that dude. Even him not being Super Saiyan, he was still a fucking badass character. Like, always and forever. It's fucking sick. And, for him to be that dude, for him to be that Super Saiyan. And it was funny because I remember my friend telling me, he's like, yeah, he should be the legendary Super Saiyan. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, yes. That's kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, even now with that episode, it would make perfect sense.
Exactly.
If they were to come out and say, hey, this is canon, this is what happened, and he's the legendary Super Saiyan. I think most people would be okay with that.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Right. That'd be fine. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, but if they want to go a different route and say, hey, there was somebody else that was the legendary Super Saiyan, I'm cool with that too, bro.
Right. Because now,
I want some backstory.
If you even think about it now, with the Broly movie, he's not the legendary Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but at the same time, that movie obviously was in canon, and people, obviously people are going to enjoy Dragon Ball and they're going to enjoy those movies. But that movie was, it was made for a reason, because Broly was the legendary Super Saiyan. So it was kind of like, now that changed, it's kind of like, it's kind of different, which is fine. Obviously he's canon now, which is dope, because, obviously with that.
I'm just checking.
No, obviously with the movie being what it made, or being what it was, it made it all that better because of all the characters that are now a part of Super. For them bringing back Dragon Ball.
Sorry about that. I had to check the camera.
Yeah. So I remember when Broly came out. Even before it came out, me and my good friends, William, Victor, Alex, myself, and my friend Manuel, and then a good friend of mine, his name was Alonzo. We all went. We all knew that movie was coming out. Another buddy of mine, his name was Daniel. We all used to work together at Skechers, where I used to work at. And
name drop.
Yeah, name drop. And so I used to, that's where I used to work. That's where I met all my friends that I talked to. And so planning, months. My friend Daniel, he ended up transferring to a store in New York. Actually, I'm sorry, that actually did happen. But the reason why he transferred is because he's married. His wife's his wife is a dental technician, or something that has to do with dentistry or whatever. And so she had to go out there, and she's doing her thing, and so he had to go. Literally, maybe a month before the movie came out. I think the movie came out like sometime around this time, like January, January, something like almost January. Yeah. So we knew that they were gonna show it in the theater. So, my buddy Victor, he was telling all of us like, "Hey, we're gonna watch it. Can you shoot me money for the tickets?" Almost like Gonzo. Yeah. So we send him the money. Boom, good to go. Go to the movies. We watch it. Fucking amazing time. The whole storyline was fucking amazing. And three things I would always remember. My friend Manuel, he couldn't wait to watch. Literally the day before, it came. Well, obviously it was already out, kind of, in some form or way, because it came out in China and obviously subtitles, Japan, and everything. So he went online and watched it. I believe it was in Spanish. So he watched it. I'm like, bro, like it was the day, and it was literally the day before we were gonna watch it. Call it what you will. I was like, like that nostalgia. If it was like Endgame or like Rise of Skywalker, I wouldn't put it up there, but it had that some type of nostalgia. Something like that. As far as being a Dragon Ball fan, he couldn't wait. He wanted to watch it. He sat to my really good friend Victor, and the whole time, we even said, he's like, whoever sits next to him, we don't want to sit next to him. I'm sorry, that's what we said, but. The reason why we said that, exactly.
Be like, look at this part.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did. So my friend Victor, and it was my friend Victor, my friend Manuel, my friend Lonzo, myself, my friend Alex, and then my friend William. And my friend Manuel, he was telling Victor, "Oh, this part's funny." Like, when something's gonna happen, you're like with someone, you're like, "Hey, watch this part, it's gonna be funny," or "Hey, look at this part's gonna be badass," or "Look at this." He literally told him, he's like, "Bro, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you." He said it so loud, we all started laughing in the row. And I feel like that was the best part, because we all sat like next to each other, obviously going to movies with each other. Us being fans of the show for so many years, that was amazing. Second funny part, obviously if you're a Dragon Ball fan, when Vegeta and Goku, when they fuse, but they don't get their fingers right, they turn into a different type of being. They turn into Venku. I'm sorry, I know he's gonna watch this, but I'm telling the story. My good friend William, he, he's a pretty hefty guy. He's like a Gonzo.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, so he's like a Gonzo. So we're all watching it. They fuck up. We start laughing because it's Venku, right? My friend Victor is sitting all the way on the other side. We're next to my friend Manuel. He's like sitting on the far end, and he's sitting on the other side. So it was like 6 of us in the row. Yeah. Yells from across the way. Tells him, "Hey, William, look, that's you."
Oh, yeah.
And then my friend William goes up to him. He's like, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh, damn.
That was classic. And then when obviously when we perfected it, and that big battle between Gogeta and Broly, super legendary, Super Saiyan Broly, badass, Super Saiyan, super badass scene to this day. And you can't even ask for a better scene than that. For them to fight, and then their powers are so immense that they're teleporting into different dimensions, which is pretty cool because they use that aspect of the show, so to speak. Amazing. That whole time, my friend Victor, we're all sitting back. We're all leaning back. We're all watching can't believe what we're watching. I look from the corner of my eye and I see my friend Victor go like a little kid and just look like if he's like 9 years old again. He's just looking, staring. And I'm looking across from him and I'm like, damn, he's really into it right now. Literally sat from that part to the movie was over. He was like, yo, that shit was fire. It was awesome. So that was my Dragon Ball Broly experience with my friends. So shout out to you guys.
I wish I would have had a story like that. It was just Maribel surprised me with some tickets. She's like, let's go.
That's dope.
And
That's dope.
watched it. I mean, I thought maybe somebody would have been, causing a ruckus or something, but nah, it was cool.
Just chill. Cool vibes. Yeah. Did you ever see that meme? I think I have it on my phone still. I'll show you later. But it's a meme of it's the scene where Vegeta goes God mode for the first time. He's fighting Broly, and it was a scene where Broly's like loading up his punch and just hits him in the face, and then he doesn't do anything to him, and then Vegeta just goes back, boom, smacks him, and he's smacking into like 10 fucking nonsense. There's a meme online of the theater scene of that happening, and in that moment when it happens, when Broly punches Vegeta, everything goes silent. And then there's a guy, I don't want to say his nationality, but once I show you the video, you'll know who it is. He's like, hit that. And he says the word. Yeah, he said that.
Alright.
And everybody in that scene, he hits him, and everybody just starts laughing in the theaters, laughing their asses off. If I was in that theater when he heard that, I would have been fucking dying. I'd have been the best. But yeah, I gotta show you that video later on. But it's fucking hilarious.
I probably would have did the same thing.
Definitely.
Now that you mentioned that about somebody yelling in the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if you were there that time we showed up into one of the movies late. And we showed up kind of late into the movie. Myself, Maribel, and I think Gonzo and Bianca. And they were already starting to show the previews and everything because the lights were off.
Right.
We walk in, right? And you've seen those the State Farm commercials?
Yeah.
And then it's like, who are you talking to on the phone?
Yeah.
Right?
Jake from State Farm. Yeah.
And then I forgot what it was that was showing. It was one of the trailers for some movie. And in the trailer it goes, what's your name? And Maribel yells out, Jake from State Farm. Dude,
shit.
Oh, when she said it in that movie, that shit had me rolling, bro. I was like, oh my god.
Bro, talking about movies, bro. Remember when we saw Sausage Party in theaters?
Oh my god. Oh,
I'm gonna let you guys know right now. And you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. The scene at the end. I have never heard this guy laugh so hard in my life since that day. It was the greatest, one of the weirdest, greatest, awkwardest moments of my life. But it was funny because I feel like you were the only one that was laughing too.
I was the only one
laughing
as hard as I was.
Yeah.
There were other people in the theater laughing.
Yeah.
But when it came to myself, Braulio, Maribel, and Abby, but the weird thing is, my brother was there. My brother was there.
And Abby's sister was there.
Yeah.
That
both of them
was
were there. They were a lot younger.
Yeah, a lot younger.
And, we were like, whatever. Rated R, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's an animated movie. Nothing's going to happen. And if you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. It's the ending scene.
Oh my god. Dude.
It somehow feels... It doesn't feel out of place in the movie when you look back in retrospect. But just in that moment, it kind of gets thrusted upon you. Because you're not ready for it. You're like, oh, cool, the movie's about to be done.
You're not ready for it.
Like, whatever.
You're not ready.
And then that whole thing just happens. I'm not going to say anything, because...
Right. Yeah. They know what we're talking about.
I don't want to get not in the recommended. But
that's what that one right there was. I couldn't believe what I was saying. I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't it didn't even seem real. It was just like, what am I watching? But I'm thinking that, right? Like, I'm looking at the movie and I'm like watching it. I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? And I just hear this guy next to me laughing his ass off, like he's watching Family Guy for the first time, like fucking, just like casually just laughing. I'm just like, damn, like this is crazy.
To the point where I'm crying,
Crying.
laughing.
Crying.
Maribel turns to her brother. Don't watch. Don't look. Abby does the same thing.
It was
just. Oh.
There's a moment in time I will never forget. But the one thing I will always remember is you're laughing, and I just remember looking at it. I'm like, holy shit, this is happening. And you're laughing, and I look at you, and you're just like, and like dead ass like crying. You're dead ass like, oh my god, like just laughing. That was fucking funny. That movie, man. That was funny as well.
Now that you mention it, I probably want to watch it again. It's a good thing it's on Netflix.
It is. That was crazy. But yeah, man. So how do you feel? I mean, I love that we're going on topic and just talking about just different things. We're just talking about movies right now. We haven't even talked about TV shows and video games and other shit, wrestling, all that good stuff. But let me ask you this: how did you feel about going back to Dragon Ball? How did you feel about the Super Series coming? Or like, what did you first think of it when it first came on? Because I have a lot of friends that when we first watched it, to them it was incredible. It was awesome. And being a Dragon Ball fan, going back to it, it's like, we obviously watched Z, we watched the original. Watching Z, obviously we watched it in the English version. It got to the point where we started watching Super in the Japanese version, which was insane. And we started liking it a lot more.
It took forever.
Yeah, and we started liking it.
This ain't gonna get dubbed for a bit.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, I'm not gonna be the only person not caught up. I mean,
just waiting.
Back when I was working at my previous job, all my coworkers, literally every single dude I worked with, was like, "Hey, did you see that new Dragon Ball episode?" And I was like, kind of taken back, like, what are you talking about, new Dragon Ball episode? Like, yeah, Dragon Ball Super, bro. I was like, it's in English? And they're like, nah, dude, it's subbed. And I was like, kind of reluctant at first to watch it, because...
And I know the type of person you are too. Like, I know you can't have really, like that. Like,
there's certain
characters,
certain animes. Obviously, Dragon Ball being one of the few animes I watched when I was younger.
Right.
I got exposed to the dub, like most people.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So just when it came out, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just hop on this train right now, just get it over with and watch it in Japanese.
Right.
I couldn't bear the first episode.
Damn.
Just hearing Goku's Japanese voice actor,
right?
I was like, this is not the Goku like that.
That's true. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, at first that's how it was, and then I just kind of got over it. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to be the only person not caught up.
Right.
So I ended up just, whatever. And then after a while, I got used to it. I mean, it was dope. I mean, I wish they would continue making more.
I mean, hopefully it could happen.
I mean,
Even
even if they decide to just do movies from here on out, but as long as they're canon,
like
the Broly movies.
Have you kept up with the manga?
I have not kept up with the manga. My brother does tell me every once in a while, like, hey, did you see what happened here? Did you see what happened here? And I'm like, no.
All I gotta say is, if once they run that, it's gonna be crazy. It might be crazier than the tournament. And that was, obviously as big as it was. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was, I remember when it first came out, I was like, obviously I was reluctant, I was hesitant, and I felt the same way. I was like, I couldn't really hear Goku's voice like that. But the one episode that changed my mind about that, the watching from dub to sub, was the episode with Goku versus Hit. When Goku goes Kaioken times Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10.
Is it times 10?
No, 10. 20 was when he fought Jim.
Oh, okay.
20 was when he fought Jim. And that was crazy in itself because he goes 20 and doesn't even do anything to him. But aside from that, yeah, when I seen that episode, for him to do that was insane. For obviously, we watch Dragon Ball for the creativity, we watch it for, the fighting and suspense and the who might die and what's gonna happen, what next power ups are available.
Yeah.
So when that power up happened, it was like, holy shit! No one even thought of those two like moves being together, and for him to do it the way he did it, that whole scene was amazing.
That's true, because I don't think he's done it prior to that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, he's never done it until 1, 2, 3.
He did do it though when with Python. A lot of people don't know about Python, but you know about Python, right?
Oh yeah.
In the tournament, the other world tournament.
Yeah, in the Wrath of the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
It's right
there, right between it. He does Super Saiyan
2, right?
2 with the Kaioken.
Oh, okay.
Or I think it's just Super Saiyan Kaioken. I think it was
Super Saiyan, because I'm pretty sure if they would have went SSJ too.
He would have killed him for sure. But that scene itself, like, the lady's voice and her emotions putting into it, I can't watch it. I literally saw that scene, and when I saw the dub, I'm like, nah, it's not it. I love Sean Shimmer. Sean Shimmer was a GOAT, obviously, him being Goku for so many X amount of years. He did his best, but the sub, I forget the lady's name, but she went crazy on him. And that was when I was like, I have to watch this in sub now. I have to.
I'm the same way now. Like, I tried to watch the dubs that they were doing for Super, and I'm just like, you know what, man? Like, it doesn't feel.
It's not the same.
It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the emotion that's put behind the voice
acting. Of course.
It's like, because you guys gotta remember, voice acting is done prior to them doing any of the animation and everything, so they can kind of sync the facial expressions
with the voice,
things like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So after that, I remember when they did that tournament, I was like, okay. Well, what I disliked about it is that them redoing the movies in the show. Obviously with Beers and you have Frieza coming back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, well, you guys are replicating it and giving obviously more deeper detail into the story instead of just showing the movie and then boom, that's it. But once they got into the different universes, Beers with his brother, and then that tournament, boom, you have that. Then you have Goku Black. That caused so much controversy. Some people say that arc might be better than the tournament arc. I have friends that say that too.
I have heard that as well too. I mean,
I'm not mad about that.
The
it's really
Black
good.
arc is really great. I'm just kind of like, why is Trunks' hair blue?
So many follows.
Why is his hair blue?
Right, so many follows.
It's purple.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That's how
Yeah, but it was dope. I loved that saga was sick. A lot of when you see Vegito again, you see Trunks going berserk, kind of. That whole saga was cool. So after that, I was like, man, I don't think they're gonna be able to top this. Let alone turn the power, boom, and then you see one of Goku's obviously biggest. He's not even like an enemy. So
like a rival.
It's more like a rival, which is dope because it kind of gave you like that Frieza Goku vibe. Frieza Goku vibe. It gave you that Goku Vegeta vibe, where like we're not fighting to kill each other, we're just fighting to see who's the best. And for him, I had a lot of friends at the time that were watching Jiren the way he was. They hated him. They thought Toriyama was tripping. They thought he was like, oh, how could you make this guy so OP? Goku's going Kaioken times 20. You can't even. That's not even like it doesn't even phase him. And then for him to even go, Ultra Instinct, the first stage, the base stage, obviously, and then for him to, do the thing, and then for him to obviously go Master Ultra Instinct. Loved it. Amazing. That was godly in itself.
Well, speaking of the whole. Not the master version of the Ultra Instinct, but when he was first tapping into that power.
Right.
Against
Kefla? That was.
I don't know why I was spacing on
that. No.
I was like, it's not KO.
Yeah, KO, Kefla, yeah.
When he rides the Kamehameha.
I was like, I remember that part vividly. I was at work, same way I was at. It was the same way. It was my friend William told me, hey, have you watched that episode? I'm like, I haven't. Or that was around the time when I used to work grave. I used to work from like 2 in the morning to 10 in the morning. So around like 5 o'clock in the morning, I was already on lunch. It's like, yo, watch it. I think he told me to watch it. I think I just watched it. watching it, seeing that scene. My mouth, I literally have my phone in. I'm watching it, and that happened. I'm like, and then William's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that happened. And I'm like, holy shit, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What I loved about that art too, that people don't really like. I'm sure, obviously, to the fan that watches it so many times, that can still continue to keep watching it, that it was the fact that what the stakes were, and the fact that you couldn't kill anybody. That was a big, because obviously Dragon Ball's always been about killing people. Goku dies, Vegeta died, you gotta kill the bad guys. Trunks died at one point, obviously, like all these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, that is a common theme.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, for that aspect to be in it, to be like just get knocked out, it was kind of like a free fall. So it was kind of like that concept was so.
It kind of threw you back to more of a Dragon Ball.
Exactly.
When they were having the actual world tournament and everything. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So when obviously when everything was transpiring, it was cool to see like the Saiyans grow in that soul. Like I forget how long the tournament power was. I think it was like
about 45 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. For them to be the way they went, Vegeta going, Ultra Blue, Goku learning Master Ultra Instinct, Gohan finally thinking, he's gonna come back to his old state, and even like the Universe 6 characters like Kefla, Kale, and Kaba going Super Saiyan 2, almost that OG way of Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2. I don't know if you saw that. It was like that same.
Yeah,
almost that same.
I kind of got a little bit of a vibe from that.
That vibe, yeah. And then Kale going berserk, Harry like kind of having that imitation of Broly. It was kind of like holy shit. And
I know.
Confusing. It was insane.
I remember when that happened too. A bunch of people, because there was a leaked magazine from Japan that showed a silhouette of Broly before he turns into the Super Saiyan, or even
right, the blue Saiyan type of thing.
I think it's the suppressed Super Saiyan,
right?
Which he has the blue hair. But I remember there being another silhouette where they show him full legendary mode, or for what we thought was him,
right?
And it ended up being her. And a lot of people got upset. I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what you're giving us? Like, we want Broly. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of got what we wanted. We kind of got that. Like, I mean, obviously we have Broly now in canon, and even it's so crazy because now that we have Broly, now that Broly is a canon character, so many options you can go. So many options. He can fight Beerus. He can become like what state can he become? He's just like we know him to what he is now, obviously to the stories. But what now that you have him there, what can he become? Can he become regular Super Saiyan? Can he go 8? Can he still go?
Well, I mean, he still has his tail, right?
I think he does. I want to say
because I think that's how he's holding up the ear that he uses as a.
I think so. I think they might just throw a curveball at us at that one. But can he master blue? Can he master?
I mean, I would assume so because if you look throughout the fight, he's learning as he's fighting, which is the majority of the time what Goku and Vegeta do.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool, this is gonna be dope. Right. And then the whole ending scene of him Goku going to go see Broly,
to visit and stuff,
and telling him, hey, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
Like that's sparring.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I'm ready to see where that goes.
Exactly.
I already know that's going to be dope, especially now if Broly is going to end up being with the Z fighters.
And you never know. I feel like even in Super, they threw. What was it? There was at least, aside from the Goku Black Socket, if you think about it, there was at least like 4 turns. Because there was the brothers, Beerus and Champa. Then you had the other universes tournament.
The prelim.
The prelim. And then you had tournament power. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went back like another tournament where Jiren wants a shot. Like, hey, let's have a like this would be cool. Like me and my friends, Victor and William, we talked about like different arcs. Like I was going into deeper things, like into whatever I like, whether it's Dragon Ball, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel. I always like to dive into deeper things of like, what would you want to see? And I was like asking questions of like my friends that enjoy it. What would you do in that aspect? What, like if you're the creator, what are you making?
Yeah.
And especially with Dragon Ball, it's all arcs. You know, everything is just all arcs. Frieza, Cell, Boo, and all the new ones. So I'm like, what would the next arc be? And for me, I would make like another tournament of power, but it'd just be between Universe 7 and Universe 11. Boom, throwing them together. Do like a quick one, like the Champa and Beerus one, just to see what's best. Boom, do that. It'll be amazing. It'll be perfect to run it back again. But this time, obviously, Frieza's on the bullshit. You know, being the villain that he is, you need one more. Obviously, I don't think they're gonna have Boo. Actually, you might need two. Well, actually, am I right?
Well, I mean, if you don't got Frieza, I mean, your next best bet would be Boo.
Right. So if you don't have Frieza,
Unless you feel like pulling out Tien or Yamcha.
no. What I'm saying is like, if they don't have Frieza, fuck it, don't Broly.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, Broly and
Because it is a universe tournament.
exactly. Imagine that Topo and Broly matchup. If you just throw a matchup, you know, just throw in those aspects. Broly, Topo, Jiren, like a little, like something very small,
A little bit of a teaser fight between him and
Jiren and Broly, like type of, hey, we'll squabble for a bit, and then boom, like Goku jumps back in against Jiren, boom, like something like that.
Yeah, they could do something like that. I mean, I think it would be pretty cool to see Broly go at it with Jiren.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that Jiren beats him.
yeah,
But going back to like,
but it wouldn't even be a power swing.
It wouldn't, but the movie really gauged Broly's power. For Vegeta to go God mode, to barely keep up with him, and then Goku going blue, and then like, you know, him going legendary, so to speak, and then they have to fuse in order for him to beat him. They almost killed him.
Yes.
But for them to be at that level of, you think that them to fuse at a level like that to fight maybe like a Jiren, or maybe a Beerus, or maybe another god or something like that.
Or one of the angels.
Or one of the angels, yeah. I thought the angels were.
The
angels scare me. The angels scare me because they're like, you just don't know their power. Like you do, but they don't. I don't know if you ever seen or read or kind of seen the movie where, remember when Gogeta goes instant transmission and Broly's trying to punch Whis and he's just dodging, like obviously like whatever, because for him it's like whatever.
Oh yeah.
There's a scene when
you gotta remember too, they already mastered Ultra Instinct.
Right, but what people were saying is that when Goku was already going instant transmission to there, if you look at Whis before Gogeta pops up, he already backs up. So people are already saying like, wow, like Whis is so powerful that he already knew that they were coming, so he was like already like backing up.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it was like, whoa, like that's insane in itself.
I know that.
Whoa, that's
Well,
crazy.
it's because majority of the time you don't see them use the Ultra Instinct.
Right, exactly.
Even though you know they have it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
They do it.
Yeah.
But
So does that mean like Goku is considered like an angel? Because I mean,
I would
because
say-
Beerus
I would
doesn't know
say-
that movie either.
I would say right now it could be somewhat on a certain level
Right.
with the angels. I mean, obviously, if he went at it with Whis, he would lose.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
obviously he doesn't have enough training into using Ultra Instinct, and just I don't know.
Yeah. So many options we talked about.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can brainstorm and give our opinions, give our our demonstrations of like, oh, this guy, and say like, a Dragon Ball fan, like our friends, or anybody that's gonna watch this video, they can throw their fucking opinion about, oh, what about this or this and that, obviously.
Leave your opinions.
Yeah, leave your opinions in the comments. See what happens.
We can have discussion.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Mandalorian.
We're going at this now.
We're going at this, man.
Thoughts overall on the first two seasons?
It is everything a Star Wars fan does. Literally.
A lot of people don't like it.
That's what's crazy.
I don't understand why.
I don't understand.
I mean,
You know we hate to say that? I feel like those people that don't like it.
They're the ones that only like the original trilogy.
No, not that. they only like what they've seen so far. And I'm talking about the sequels. The people when the sequels came out, they were good for what it was. The 8th one, I'm a big Star Wars fan. Like, I love Star Wars, man. I love Star Wars. I have you've seen upstairs from what I have. I love Star Wars. I've been watching Star Wars forever. My dad introduced me to it. My father introduced me to Star Wars, so that's why I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm such a big Star Wars fan that I know like the lore, everything. I watch from every little detail. Even I feel like I'm more of a Star Wars fan than a Marvel fan in that element aspect. But I feel like the people that don't like The Mandalorian is because they just want to see what they saw in the sequels. I can watch them. You can't. There's nothing there. There was no character development. There was no like drama to it. There was just nothing there. And when the 8th one came out, it was like everything just went downhill. Everything. I remember when that movie was gonna come out. I saw the trailer, and we thought it was gonna be like crazy. Like it was gonna be insane. And people said that it was gonna be as dark as Empire Strikes Back. And I was like, okay, cool. Like let's have I love the Revenge of the Sith. That's my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I rewatched that movie so many times. Everybody loves that movie. It's great. It's amazing. But with that being said, it's sometimes you don't want the good guy to win. Sometimes you want to see like the bad guy or the anti-hero, so to speak. So I feel like the only thing that did come out of the sequels was Kylo. And even then, they still underutilized him, as we saw in the Rise of Skywalker. Sure. They made Rey, big badass over the Emperor, which was cool. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. But what's so disappointing about the movie itself is because it just basically had to fix what happened in 8th. Yeah. That's basically it. That's basically what happened. You could literally watch 7, 9, and be cool with it. And then, I'm a big OG fan, obviously. Watching Luke Skywalker in the 8th one, it was like, this isn't Luke, this is obviously, spoiler alert, this isn't the Luke that we got in the last episode of The Mandalorian. That's what we should have got. That's exactly what we should have got. And it's like, for it to be the way it was, and I could tell that they're gonna make the sequels a lot better by fixing what they have now, what they're doing now. Because obviously you see Luke and him picking up Grogu now.
Yeah, because it is spoiler alert. Watch it. Yeah. Sorry about that. But what did you think of the CGI? It was garbage.
It was in its own right, but it didn't matter.
That's true.
It didn't matter because the scene was so amazing as a Star Wars fan, man. It literally brought you back to you being a kid again. It brought you back to the Revenge of the Sith days. It brought you back to when you used to watch Clone Wars. It brought you back when you watched obviously a little bit older when you were watching Rebels. It gave that feeling of like, or even Return of the Jedi.
For a lot of people,
you watch you could literally watch Return of the Jedi and watch that scene and be like, this is the greatest thing of all time. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. As a Star Wars fan, obviously. Obviously, the CGI could have been better. Obviously it was the way it was. Ironically, it was like Rise of Skywalker had a lot better CGI than what we got.
Well, you gotta remember too, though.
Yeah.
It's TV show budget.
Yeah.
TV show budget.
Yeah, but there's so many deepfakes and all that stuff. They could have probably, Dave Filoni and fucking John Favreau could have been like, yeah, let's get a fucking deepfake and let's like.
Yeah, like for real, like they could have probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could have deepfaked somebody. Like, there's a lot of people online.
There's deepfake out there too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, it's out there. It looks better than what it's all.
Have you seen who people were petitioning to play Luke Skywalker?
Yes. Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
For those that don't know, Winter Soldier.
Yes, the Winter Soldier.
He does look like
Google the Winter Soldier. Google Sebastian Stan. He looks exactly like Mark Hamill. Exactly. He could be a son, if it, by any chance, long distance son. But yeah, they look exactly identical. But a lot of people were saying that Sebastian Stan was in the show. Like they thought that he was the deep fake. Like they thought he was the one playing it. But it just came out that Mark Hamill just came out, which was really odd because I don't know if you know, Mark Hamill made that statement on his Instagram saying that he's done with Star Wars. Like he was done. Like that was it. Like he wasn't gonna go back. He wasn't gonna do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Dave and John, they came to him, and even George, because I love the fact that both of them bring George back. I love that because what Disney did to George is fucked up. That's like the biggest slap in the face of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So backstory to the people that don't know, George Lucas is the creator of Star Wars. When he sold Disney, he already had the scripts for the sequels that are out now. He gave it to Disney, and basically Disney looked at the script and said, "Oh, this is nice." Threw it behind his back, and they said, "This is what we're gonna do." The rest is history. They did what they wanted to do, and that's why George never went to any of the fucking premieres. He didn't even go to the last Skywalker. So I mean, obviously in his right mind. So I love the fact that Dave, They've been working since the Clone Wars days. So he literally is the young Padawan. He's the young Padawan to the fucking master, to the Grand Master. And he tells him like, hey, like, what do you think? And I love that he tells him, what do you think about this? What do you think about this character, this lighting, or this? Just very little details. And obviously, I don't know if you have Disney Plus.
I do not, but
I will give you my password so you can watch the gallery and all that stuff. I don't know if you know about the gallery. No?
I've seen like screenshots.
So the gallery is basically like the behind the scenes of the show. The fact that we had to see Ahsoka with George Lucas, there's literally no words that you can describe.
How do you feel about Rosario Dawson?
I love her. She was dope.
I think it's perfect.
She was dope, bro. She was amazing.
How do you feel about her getting the show?
Amazing, because that brings so. Right now, as far as a Star Wars fan, I'm fucking happy. Like I can't wait to see all these shows. I can't wait. I was literally I was working with it, and I didn't even know they were bringing out all these other shows. And I'm just coming over here. I'm like, holy shit! I go on my computer. I'm looking. Bad Batch, Ahsoka. The Acolyte was just gonna be dope. It's more of a Sith type of thing. Yeah. Rangers of the New Republic. That's gonna be fucking awesome. And then the main Obi-Wan show. The Obi-Wan show is gonna be the greatest. I wanted to speak into this. It's probably gonna be the greatest Star Wars thing that we've ever seen. Because not only, then we get obviously the Boba Fett show, which is gonna be sick. But the Obi-Wan show is gonna be crazy because obviously we had fucking Hayden Christensen coming back. I hated the fact that people did not like him playing Anakin. Back then,
there was some drawbacks.
There was.
He did good with what he had.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, the people that were complaining were the ones that grew up on the original trilogy. So
exactly.
They have this mindset of this is how Star Wars is, and then you bring somebody else and make them look like this.
Exactly.
Oh, this isn't the Star Wars.
But he's supposed to be that, He's supposed to be that character because he's the main character in the whole time. Like, when you think about Anakin Skywalker, you think about Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Like he's the main guy in the storyline. Then you have the other branches out, like Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewie, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker. You have those. Even Ahsoka. If you're a big Clone Wars fan, you have those characters. So like, people were still even saying like, oh, they shouldn't bring him back. But it's time. Another person that should bring back, which I want him to come back. Liam Neeson. Qui-Gon, man. We need Qui-Gon, bro. Like we need a Force Ghost Qui-Gon, man. And I hope Dave and John, they come up with some crazy deep fake shit where, obviously we're gonna see Obi-Wan kind of going through his PTSD about him fighting Anakin and stuff. And it's even after the time when Yoda already is teaching him to talk to Qui-Gon. We need that. Like as a Star Wars fan, it should be dope. It's good. That needs to happen.
I mean,
And it can't be from anybody else. It has to be from him himself.
even if they don't bring him back like alive or do a show of like him before episode 1,
Right.
they can always bring him back as a Force Ghost.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that'd be great for the Obi-Wan show. I mean, because it's supposed to pick up off
10 years after.
10 years.
That's it.
10?
10.
Okay, so 10 years
So
after.
literally, it's like in that 10. It's on that timeline of like stuff getting like mayhem coming out.
And even then, if you have him come back as the Force Ghost, you don't need to de-age him.
Not at all.
It's fine. I mean, I don't think most people would care.
They wouldn't.
They'd be like, just give him the hair, give him the robe, and we're good.
Boom. Good to go. Talk to him. Just talk. I just want him to be in his presence. Even if they just sees him and he's like there, I wouldn't still be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Some people. I mean, let me ask you this. So, watching season 2 of Mando, you being, obviously, we're both big Star Wars fans. Where would you rank the series on the accolades of the story? Like, would you put it above Clone Wars? Would you put it above, where does it lie in the timeline?
Yeah, man. I think from everything, from episode 1 to 9, The Mandalorian, the Clone Wars TV show, the Rebels, and anything that's canonized.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'd have to put Mandalorian.
Alright, let's get back into it.
Sorry, you're probably going to see a cut there. I didn't even notice my camera stopped recording on my
good.
phone. But obviously, the last thing you saw was a few minutes ago from what we were actually already talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian, second. I saw New Hope as a child. That was the first thing, so I put it above all else.
Rightfully so. I agree. Yeah.
But I was going to say, just since there's a cut,
yeah,
I feel like it'd be a good time to just step away from Star Wars.
No, it doesn't.
Still staying within Disney.
Right.
But let's go to the Marvel aspect.
Let's do it.
'Cause
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys know, specifically what I wanted to speak about was Spider-Man.
What about Spider-Man? There's so many things about Spider-Man.
Have you been seeing
we're talking about
the
that.
leaks
Oh.
of people coming on?
I've seen it.
The rumors of what's supposed to happen.
I've seen it. I believe some of them are true. Obviously, like when it comes to leaks, some of them are true, some are fake. I do believe that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back, and even their old flames like MJ, Kristen Dunst, and Emma Stone coming back. I think they're gonna come back, which is kind of weird. I don't know why, because
I feel like though the Emma Stone one, she's gonna be from Tom Holland's universe.
Really?
Because that's the only way you can bring her. She already died in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
She died in the first
But
one.
wasn't she like a clone? Wasn't she being cloned?
Oh, the second one. I bet.
Yeah, right. I know it was the second book. Wasn't she being like cloned or something? Or no, am I tripping?
I don't think so.
I gotta rewatch that. But yeah. I mean, I hope they do it. I feel like that. When you talk about Marvel, when you talk about Spider-Man, I feel like that movie, if it's done right, could possibly be one of the top 5 superhero movies of all time. So many.
Bro,
So
in all honesty, with everybody that's being signed on,
Right.
I mean, obviously Jamie Foxx has already been confirmed.
Right.
He's returning as Electro,
Right.
but it's a Tom Holland universe. He's not from the Andrew Garfield.
Right. Yeah.
And then Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock.
That
in
right
Tobey
there is
Maguire.
like, if
Yeah, I thought he played that really
so-
perfectly, bro.
I wanted, but the thing, that's Spider-Man 2 is probably the top 5 superhero movie of all time.
Yeah, for the
Top
longest time,
Top 5, easily. It's easily
it's
top
still
5.
up there.
It's up there, definitely. Like, even with all the Marvel movies that came out, obviously we got everything. We got the whole universe, and then we have obviously the X-Men. Obviously we have so many other superheroes that we could talk about, but that movie itself is like, that is like Well, if you're a Spider-Man fan, and one of my good friends, his name's Lewis. I know he's gonna watch this. Biggest Spider-Man fan you can meet ever. Loves Spider-Man, bro. That's his dude. And with that being said, he knows his shit, and he knows what I'm talking about. That movie is literally like top 5 easily. Just everything about Spider-Man is that movie. 100%. Yeah. Obviously, we got number 3, and it was kind of like.
It's not something.
It's not something we like to talk about as a superhero fan.
It was okay. So about the halfway point. The beginning part with Sandman.
Dope.
I thought it was good.
Dope.
I believe he is also returning as well.
Oh really?
But
I didn't see that. I wouldn't mind that.
And since since in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the
Right.
Tobey Maguire one,
Right.
he didn't die.
He didn't. Forgave him. Just went about his business.
He didn't necessarily. They didn't really show him that he was turning over a new leaf.
Right.
It doesn't mean he's good. Doesn't mean he's bad. So we don't know.
Right.
He could still return as an evil version from the Sam Raimi verse,
True.
or he could be a Tom Holland one again,
Mm-hmm.
which I think would be perfect.
Do you think?
Since everything is revolving around Tom Holland right now, there'd be no point to really branch out into the other universes right now.
Right.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? After this movie, we could finally get a third Tasm Spider-Man, which is the Amazing Spider-Man,
Right.
or we could finally get that fourth Sam Raimi Spider-Man, since he is returning for Doctor Strange.
As much as I
You
would
gotta
enjoy
remember,
that,
he's going to be directing Doctor Strange.
he is. As much as I would enjoy that, I think in this day and age, shouldn't. My opinion, only if they get the right people, if they go back and they say, hey guys, the people that were supposed to be on it, we can do it again, we can run it back, something along those lines. If it's done well, I would enjoy it. But if they're just doing it just for money and just for
Of course. I mean, if
Right,
it's done correctly for the fans,
Right.
because this is obviously something
For the
most
fans.
people want. Everybody, our age group,
Mhm.
a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger,
Right.
they see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's our
obviously,
Spider-Man, basically.
I did too for the longest time. I was like, damn, he's Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man.
There was a few things that threw me off though. The whole
Yeah.
organic web,
Yeah.
never really was on board with that.
Yeah, me neither.
Because I'm like,
Because I was expecting I was
waiting for web shooters and
all
everything.
the other stuff, yeah.
But I mean, it grew on me afterwards. I mean, I just that messed me up, and especially Spider-Man 3. That just that completely threw me off.
Did you enjoy Amazing Spider-Man? The first one, because obviously the second one had its flaws, had its kinks. But the first one, did you when you saw it, you were like obviously being a kid watching Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man for X amount of years, we get him obviously the first Spider-Man, amazing. Second Spider-Man, blew fucking out of the water. Third Spider-Man being the way it was kind of like okay. And then obviously we get this new one, we get fucking Andrew Garfield. How did you feel about that transition at the time?
I mean, I kind of figured that was happening. Once they were like, hey, we're doing another Spider-Man, but we're not using Tobey Maguire.
Right.
I kind of figured at the time because he was getting a little bit up there in age. Obviously he's a lot older now.
Right.
But I was like, okay, I'm okay.
I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Sorry about that other cut. So I apparently didn't have enough space on my phone for the rest of the recording. It only recorded about 7 minutes that you just saw. And we were probably talking about another 15 minutes after that.
Almost
So
another 30 at least.
it's not good.
Yeah.
Kind of pissed me off. I know it pissed him off. We were having a pretty deep, good conversation
Yeah,
about
exactly.
some other shit.
But the good part about it though is that we could always leave it for the next time. Obviously, we do this again.
True. We could just talk about it in the next episode, which
Exactly.
we probably will.
We will.
So,
Most definitely.
but where we're at right now, and the time it is getting pretty late. So
Yeah.
I got a family to go back to. I know he's got some shit that he's got to take care of as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna probably end it here. I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.
Sir.
And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at aricswhatnotexperince. And if you want to follow Braulio on Instagram, his @ is
BPR_24. You can follow me on there.
I'll also put it in the description down below.
Right.
And if you guys want, just like I had mentioned in the beginning of the episode, all this. Hoodies, shirts, hats, trucker hats, all of that can be found.
PiecesLosAngeles.com. Just go support, go look us up. We just dropped the new merch today, so you guys go take a look at what we have. The hoodie that you can see right behind me is coming soon. We're making more of them. If you guys like it, enjoy it, you can definitely cop. Even the hats. Yeah, you can just check out what we have, and you can always DM me. Like I said, my IG is BPR_24, and you could always go to the Pieces page, Pieces, and you can go to Pieces Los Angeles on IG. You can look it up from there, and yeah, just go support us, guys. Yeah, we're really starting to get into our own. We're based out of LA, so yeah, you could just take a look at our merch and go support us. And I like to thank Art for promoting our brand. You can always go into the description and just check out our stuff, or like I said, you can just go and check it out, like I said. So
all right, Braulio.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate my brother.
All right,
We'll
man.
do this again.
All right.
Salute.
And pretty much, last thing I want to say is Happy New Year's, because this is probably going up on New Year's Day.
Exactly, yeah. January 1st or December 31st.
So
we'll definitely be making more videos.
to the new year.
To the new year. Yes, sir.
Whoops.
Yep. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.